Live. Welcome. So this is going to be the first, I guess, episode of many of me kind of just documenting my trading journey and just where I'm at and just, keeping it real. Like that's the biggest issue that I have with most traders that are, in the space in general. They don't show losses as much as they actually lose. There's a little bit of a lack of transparency. So that's where I'm going to come in and just really just keep it raw and unfiltered and just be myself. So with that being said, I'm going to, just touch light on my journey to this point, where I'm at currently, and where I want to get to. So obviously, I've been trading now for about really like summer of 2023. That's kind of when I really started. I was introduced first into like stocks and options because some players on my old hockey team kind of like put me on, and I was like, oh shoot, like this is cool. Like, you can make money, whatever. Like, and I'm just chilling, like fresh out of high school. Like, damn, like I need to, find a way to make some money. And like, obviously, since I was playing hockey at the time, I wasn't going to school. So I was playing junior hockey, which is like in between college. Unfortunately, I got some head injuries and stopped playing, but I actually never ended up going to school, at least not yet. Just for me personally, like I just feel it just doesn't really, I guess, align with me. Nothing against anyone that goes to college, but for me personally, like I'm gonna try to pave a different way for myself, and I think that's what makes me me, and that's what really inspires me to keep going is to like not be like everybody else and try to take a different route in life and, see where that gets me. So yeah, I've been trading for 2 years, really from summer of 2023 to summer of 2024. Made no money, didn't really pass any evals. The first eval that I passed was like in May of 2024, so nearly 10 months later. Obviously, just kept going, got introduced into ICT in the fall of 24, and I've been trading, similar style. Obviously, my trading has evolved over time, but, through the perspective of ICT up until now. So I was getting payouts, or I got my first payout with Apex, who I pretty much started my journey with um, in, I think it was June or July 2024. So I guess we'll look now. So these are the paths that I've gotten, and it's been a very bumpy journey, right? So June 1st, I got a bunch of payouts, but they came through in different times because I had an issue with my card at the time. So actually, I didn't end up getting all of this until really August 1st, but of 2024, right? So I had a really good summer, and then as you'll see, right, boom, September 1st, big gap. From September 1st to December 18th, made no money from trading. And all of the PAs that I had at the time, I eventually blew through just through, bad trading habits. And in this time in the summer, like I really got hot. Like, I was trading well, whatever, right? December comes around, I'm trading well again, starting to form rules. Obviously, the concepts work at this point, but starting to create some rules for myself. And then I remember, I think it was the day after Christmas, I completely blew these accounts that I had. And then it was the same thing where for a couple months, right, as you can see, this was PA Apex 16 and this is 25. So, whatever, 2.5 months of passing an eval, getting the PA, blowing the PA, and rinsing and repeating that. And then March, something clicked again. I was definitely better with my rules, just a lot more consistent. So I had these payouts that got denied initially because of the consistency rule. And then eventually I started to get paid out again March, April, and May. So again, right, 3 months of doing really, really well for myself. I had a 5-figure month, which was awesome. And then, so April pretty much essentially, I had gotten paid out nearly 5 figures, right? So 2,000, 4,000. 6,000, 8,000, 10 point or 12.5K, right? And then May 6th was the last payout that I requested with Apex. After this, they actually put like a ban on my accounts. Like I couldn't really buy more accounts for some reason. And then after, unfortunately, these ones got blown, that was it. And I haven't gotten a payout since May 6th. So it ended up hitting my account like a week or two later. And since then, I've really been struggling just, sticking to my plan and being super consistent with my rules, right? So as you can see, right now, if I try to get an account with Apex, it just does issue found. You already have active subscription, right? So it just doesn't work. Um, and yeah, look, you can say purchases, no more evals during this review period, and it's been like this literally since end of May, early June. From there, this was summer 2025. Now I was kind of funneling through my funded futures for a little bit, got funded with them, blew the account. Just I couldn't listen to myself for really the entire summer until September hit. And even September was pretty bad. Then I switched over to Tradeify accounts. Same cycle that was happening before. Got funded, blew the account, and then I had a really bad crash out day in the very beginning of October where I had two Tradeify funded accounts and I think on my funded futures as well. And I ended up just blowing through all of it in a day. And at this time, like I was telling myself, like, oh, I'm gonna follow my rules. Like, obviously, I've written this shit out so many times, like two trades a day, um, two losses, you step away, daily loss limit of 500. But I just could not listen to myself. And after that happened, I really put my foot down and I was like, enough is enough. Like, you need to really, be a professional and start acting like one if you want to start doing this, right? Like, if you want to do this for real and, you know, make a living and be consistent with it. Because getting payouts hasn't been an issue for me, but just being consistent and keeping the money that I make from trading has been my biggest issue. So that is kind of where I've been falling short in my entire journey at this point. Like, obviously, as you guys just saw, I'm shown to myself that I'm capable of making money through trading, but I have not been able to keep it and sustain my profitability for longer than like 3 months, right? Here and now, after that big crasher day, it was like October 3rd or 4th. Like, I really, you know, just really committed to just being more disciplined. And so far, it's been a lot better. I switched over to Top Step after that, and I was able to get two funded accounts past not over leveraging, actually just sticking to my plan, following my rules, and doing all of that. So those got funded 2 weeks ago. And over the past 2 weeks, I've been trading on those express accounts, right? So I have these two, or sorry, this express account and these accounts. So I've been in drawdown the past 2 weeks. Uh, as you can see, we can look at my like performance stats for these accounts, right? So 42% win rate, not great. And like you'll see here, um, it was oh wait, wrong week. We're gonna go to October, right? So we got started the account down, got back to break even, and then lose, and then this literally the same thing this week. Got my account back to around -$80, and then the past 3 days have just been losing days for me, and now I find myself back in drawdown on these accounts, having around 700-800 bucks to play with. So obviously going into this week, I'm going to lower my size, and my goal obviously is to dig these out of drawdown and get ROI. I also have this 50K trading combine that is a drawdown, so I got this earlier this week. I think on Wednesday, maybe. Yeah, Wednesday loss, and then obviously the copy trade, and then I have one more 50K account that's passed right here. So we'll probably activate that sometime soon. So yeah, that's where I stand currently with funding. So my funded accounts that I actually have are in drawdown, and then I have an eval that's in drawdown, and then this eval that's passed. I haven't gotten the email yet from Top Step, so we're gonna wait on that, and then from there we'll activate it and start trading on that as well. So from here, I think we just go in and break down like weekly bias, what I'm looking for this week, and go over the news and stuff. And yeah, so let's start with that. So recently, I've been taking Mondays off, specifically no news Mondays, just because obviously, as you guys know, the it's lower probability conditions. This week is a little bit different because it's the week of NFP, non-farm payroll, if you're not aware, and normally on NFP weeks, the Monday leading into that week is normally pretty good price action. So I will be looking to take a position tomorrow if it does present itself. And we also do have red folder news. So you have ISM manufacturing at 10 a.m. Obviously, though, we do have the government shutdown, so things are a little bit different, but I will be looking at the markets instead of working out during market open, which I have been doing the past 2 Mondays. We'll take a look Tuesday. We have Georgia jobs, tentative, I'm assuming due to the government shutdown. Wednesday, we have non-farm employment trends and ISM services. Thursday, unemployment. And then Friday, we have NFP. So we got red folder news all week, which I love to see. That just means there's going to be more volatility in the markets, which is something that I like to capitalize off of. And that's how I trade at my best when there is a lot of red folder news days. So that is awesome. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll take a look at the charts. I'll give you a little bias for the week, and then yeah, we're gonna jump back on tomorrow and do a live session. So we'll peep trading view real quick. We'll start on NQ, and then we'll peep gold, because I've been looking at gold a little bit more recently as well. All right, bet. Cool. So just looking at this alone, let me zoom out. We'll start on the 4 hour, or we'll start on the yeah. Actually, no, we'll start on the daily. Fuck it. Okay. So on the daily time frame, right, we are holding this daily bullish imbalance, but obviously when we have a big leg up like this, I'm anticipating that we're gonna, although we might still be bullish on the bigger time frame, clearly, I'm anticipating that we have a rebalance to start the week, and then potentially go higher after that, right? So we have, where was this? We have SMT here at these previous day highs. So, right, cracking correlation between NQ and ES, and then obviously we start to sell off a little bit. Next thing I'm going to mark out is just discount of this leg, right? So this bullish price leg that led us to all-time highs. Boom, right? So discount actually lines up pretty nicely with the new week opening gap from last week. So I'm anticipating that to be my draw, at least for the early portion of the week. And then from there, probably continue running higher as we have been, making new all-time highs pretty much every week for the past, good bit. Pop down to the 4 hour. I don't believe that there's SMT at these lows. Oh, there is actually. Okay. So that actually changes things. Seeing that, that makes me a little bit more bullish actually. Okay. So never mind. So I'm actually now leaning more bullish. So we have this 4 hour SMT at the lows, which looks like it's holding, and then obviously we just opened up this new week higher. Uh, Boom. So we got SMT at these lows. So that's the first thing that I would want to see a smart money reversal. ES did tap the new week opening gap from last week. NQ didn't. which means that NQ does not necessarily have to tap it. And obviously, now we have this SMT there. That's pretty important to me. Now we'll zoom into the 1 hour, see what's going on over there. So, right, we had this gap. It was respected, being bearish, right? We tapped this bearish OB on the 1 hour. But yeah, now from here, I'm honestly thinking that we're probably going to head back up to all time highs to start the week off. And then probably, so I would say Monday, Tuesday, bullish. Wednesday, we'll see what, obviously, we'll see what happens, right? But this just looks, these highs look smooth now. And then we can zoom in even to like the 15 minutes, see what's going on there. Yeah, I'm pretty bullish. Most Mondays recently, too, have been just bullish continuation days. Um, Not that every Monday is going to be the same, obviously not, but just something that I've been noticing. So I would say pretty bullish. Obviously intrigued to see what the overnight session does. You know, right now bearish PD arrays have still been being respected, but this SMT is pretty significant to me, and it's looking like, right, if we create this bullish mitigation block, right, so low, high, higher low, and then a higher high, which is a mitigation block. If we get that on the 15-minute, that would honestly cause me to anticipate us seeing all-time highs early next week. Now let's flip our attention to gold. So gold is honestly, I've been paying more attention to gold than NQ just because the price action on NQ has been not ideal recently. But yeah, so we'll peep gold right now. So to me, let's look at the daily. So to me, I'm pretty bearish on gold, targeting the previous week low, right? So we have this daily turtle soup. So we have this internal sweep here, right, of this internal high from Wednesday, swept on Friday, and this candle flipped bearish. So I would anticipate lower prices on gold, going into next week to previous week, or this week into previous week low. Let's see if we have anything on like the weekly. Yeah, I mean, we have this weekly imbalance here, which is more discounted than the one that we're currently trading in. So I would anticipate us sweeping previous week low and then maybe, starting to be bullish out of that, but we'll see. Yes, we'll see the sweep from Wednesday, Friday, boom, tap consequent encroachment during London session, and now we're kind of working our way lower. See the 1 hour chart. Yeah, right. 1 hour imbalances, bearish imbalances being respected. Um, we have these lows. We just have a lot of generated sell side liquidity. So I would anticipate sell side of the curve to start to play out here, at least to start the week. And then once this previous week low is taken, then we can kind of reassess from there. Obviously, as we can see, we also open lower on gold. So we have this new week opening gap, which we're probably going to tap into. And then I'd probably anticipate us to see lower from there. Um, So yeah, that's my bias on gold. So bearish on gold to start the week, and I would say leaning more bullish on NQ. But obviously, we have to see what happens over the overnight session, and then from there we can really start to form an analysis on real bias. The next thing that I want to do on these accounts here is set my daily loss limit. This is one habit that I've really just started to do, and it's helped me, is setting the daily loss limit. So now that I'm in more drawdown, I'm gonna set my daily loss limit to probably $350. Um, and obviously, I'm gonna risk accordingly to that. So yeah, we'll do 350 for tomorrow. It's also Monday, right? So we're gonna save that. So this has been huge for me you know, I can't really, once I hit 350 loss, it's a wrap. It's done for the day, and I can't do anything else. I'm also going to set a personal lockout until 9:30 tomorrow. No reason for me to be looking at charts past what I just analyzed, and this is just in place just to protect myself, right? Until I can get to the point where I'm really confident in just knowing that I'm not going to touch anything, I need to do this. And so far, it's been helpful. Obviously, like the results, as you can see, not the most ideal, but I've definitely been more on track with sticking to my plan. And I know that if I continue to do this, I will see results, especially as the market conditions start to get a little bit better. So, with that being said, that is all for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, giving you guys a little bit of insight on my journey to this point. And, I'm looking forward to, documenting this process with all of you guys. And hopefully it, inspires you guys to do something similar as well. So, that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the first live session. And yeah, catch you guys then. Peace.